What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Panya. I'm here to acknowledge your frequency, to heighten your mind, to transcend about the deprivation, to ascend to the celestial realm here on earth, and by the one spirit here and now, not delaying time. Happy holidays, July 4th, 2020. Let's take ourselves back from 1776 to this present day, July 4th. Now is the time that we celebrate as the birth of American independence, with festival ranging from fireworks, paradise from fireworks, of course a lot of fireworks, parades, concert, family gatherings, and barbecuing, just having a good time celebrating independence of the Americans, right? So this methodologies of American independence, that it is self-evident that all men are created equal. Equality, in other words, right? Here lies the truth, because all men are created equal. It's a fable we continue to repeat, but it is incomplete. Independence is not to wear a mask. Let's plant more trees for freshness of air that I see now is growing from pretty much all over the street now. It's pretty good. It's beautiful. Seattle, that should have been planted for a long time. The beauty of the nature that coexists, you know, the eco coexists with the lovely street, not with the ego of the mind. You know, we get rid of the greens from the mother nature, because the city here that never sleeps is to see the stars, see the twinkle twilight at night, is to see the beautiful wonder of the more trees, as we can see, which is pretty good. But too much tree is also not good too. I guess to get that balance is between. So as we gaze up the stars, we see the sky. We speculate the theories of the stars and the vastness of the universe, of time and space and continuum, the shared history of our future, the tales of our wonder, and the history of the tale as well too, the mythology, which is beautiful, right? And realities, what is reality? You could be living in small areas and on this plane of existence, and you know, you may think you live here once, which is not a really good thing of thinking, because you think you live here once, you know, you may want to think you live here once before this lifetime, and you know, the next life to come. And it's to prepare yourself for the next life to come by training your mind, your heart, coherence, connecting with the divine mind. And as we cultivate a good, you know, a skillful qualities of mind, abandoning the unskillful quality of mind, happens for different churches from different mutual appropriate coexistence, and in one blossom countries or civilizations in a simulation world. And it's sometimes I feel like it's a simulation too, but the level of experience and understandings. I guess some people may understand from the level of perception, unless you open up your mind to expand for growth, to more learning, and because we're not here as a random being who just here then, you know, to live and to die. That's pretty much it. Work to die. We want to become more of nature to learn. So here's a theory I will give you. The topic of view in our history of evolution is just a history, and what is real is right now. But history is where we learn who we are, or we can learn now to know who we are. We are able to repeat history. We are that kind of creature who, you know, cycle birth, just reincarnations. So let's see this in a different perspective, right? Because it's still in the same way we're able to summon those who we need and want, those who rebel, you know, knows the love, that's the ways, that's the one that loves, always does the who's that don't give a shit but care, that have a good heart, loving heart, the Robin Hood mentality, the neural pathway to correlation of generosity, relationships between enough, and you know, with enough you get to share with, and when you share you have that enough balance, you know, equilibrium, well poised and equipoised. It feels like, you know, when you're exploring here and now, let's look at ourselves. Here we are now, right? and those who are here originally, the native, the indigenous people, and for those who that came afterwards of this country, and at that time, you know, in terms of social events, say, you know, it's really striking and dramatic and painful, and it feels like this interplay of the more primitive self, the fear of the self, that grasping, pushing, you know, pulling, and just wanting more and more and more, to just never enough, and the more of the self that changes our mutual belonging. It is particularly important to look at it. If you think and have the approach of Thanksgiving as well too, is a red afterwards. Actually, let me tell you what red is: bloodshed, bloodbath. It's, you know, the liberated of Thanksgiving, right? In an old-fashioned way. As the man would say, he would say, hey, I'm delighted. I'm so delighted in my neighborhood to bring my neighborhood to my home. We have a numerous feasts, and then I killed them. I took the land. Yeah, you know, that sounds fucking awful, right? You know, but that's what it is. Because when we think of Thanksgiving, and when it comes from there, that the interplays of the different parts of the brain and the different evolution stages on one level, you could say, well, Thanksgiving is a man, the Europeans, you know, came over, and their greeds and violence towards indigenous people is just heartless. It's indespicable, and it's horrifying, man. And that's which is the reptilian brain, and it's the limbic system that playing out that early stage of developments. And you might say that they were developed in the current among those who came of amazing sacrifice, of collaborations and dedications to the common good that was there too, the one with the great attitude, with the gratitude, with love and kindness, the one with the sage, the one with the empathy, the one that transitioned from the bad to good. Well, what I won't say bad to good, let's say from ignorance to wisdom. So that was a part that played. And what we do see today is that, you know, the same land of the United States, the land of America, is less evolved, and where it's possible to move into, as you can see today, that here we are, over-consuming, violating the earth. That is sure destroying the health in our Hispanic body. That grasping is coming from at least developments. That's part of the brain, and we can see just this past months a sense of unreal of the BS, of the bullshit, of the BS, of the belief system, of the BS, of the bullshit. I remember myself when I was 20, right? I said to myself that the truth, the majestic sun, the illuminated moon, and the truth, that's all the three that cannot be hidden for long. The real talk is out there, and more following about the running, the ruling, and the tragic killing of the BLM. And how can we not see the highlight, the continued present in our society of racial injustice and violence, such as we fear-based living society. Start with the pandemic because of the COVID, you know, Asian was being threatened unfairly, and then the blacks keep being, while the white get hate on because of this shit right here. This vicious cycle is because of the primitive. So on and on and on, that shit keep on happening. So when this kind of stuff happen, it's coming from the part of the brain that, and that's not all. There's also the incredible heart response to that. There's a sense of this compassion, this incredible compassion, a deep sense of empathy that is there. Increasing efforts around the globe towards more processing of reconciliations in the process of different communities of diversity, working with the white privilege and above, you know, the waking up of the mind as we transcend about the liberations. And in the process of it is good, you know. There's just those who wear masks, you know, there's those who doesn't wear masks. And shall we gather the frame of reference of the mind as we perceive things? We can see this within the past months of the mask. Mask is just how mask is be covering the face, covering the hidden agenda. So mask is just how is covering our liberty to have a free speech. Mass is covering our smile, the precious smile. So we need to do the deep work. I commend the deep inner works as a meditation, as a samadhi, or herbs, whatever that make you feel good. Plant-based from Mother Earth that help you to alter your consciousness. You know, it's just psychedelic. So to see past months of racial, national, and ethnicity. However, our current histories of diversity is very interesting to me. So it's something to learn. So to learn our different sexual orientation, or gender, or belief in the people we live with and work with, and still there's ascensions. You know, it shows the competitions, competing, and mistrusting and judging and feeling and self-judge or self-hatred. You know, so when we explore this together, we move into a holiday in July 4th today. Really, what does this mean is to wake up from our heart, you know, the mind, because the heart is the one that knows, and with our minds for us to make the decisions, and with our own self, with our pets, our families, our friends, our acquaintances, you know, co-workers, our extended families, our widening circles, our past mass, you know, covering up all the stuff, and our sensory perceptions of mutual belonging, and our lives with generosities. It's really personal experience process we each playing, you know, to find the edge of ourselves, to experiment, as I mentioned, you know, to when you wake ourselves, evolve, to alter our consciousness, we can trust. That's a parasympathetic, that we trust that it will ripple out like a wave of the ocean, expanding universal love, constant unconscious. There is unconscious awareness that we are mortal. You know, we live and we die. We know that. That's just, it reveals ourselves just like everything else. You know, we are the creature of motivating and trivial perceptions, our desires, our enjoyments, our historical complexity, conflicts. That's weird. You know, this weird conjunction of beauty and awe at the same times, and terror and paranoia as an opportunity to go deeper inside us, because we feel all those senses, all the sense perceptions is what evolved us as a human to the conditions of content, and you know, to keep that edge sharpened, because Black Lives Matters. Color I am, will contribute to change. Color of change will stop the pain. I put it in the pain will stop the pain. To make that change, I will put in the pain to make gains. Thank you. Remember, this peace of mind and love at heart. Happy July 4th. Once again, take care of yourself, have fun, and learn of the history of what does July 4th really mean. Liberations of diversity. One world of this earth, one continent,